Today for Foundations, we're going to read a story together, and you can either print it or you can just follow along on the next slide. This story is called Cursive Letters. Caitlin was in the 3rd grade. She was in a new school. She was happy with the change. The kids in her class were lots of fun. She had made friends by the end of the first day. The next day, Mrs. Clark said they were going to learn to write in cursive. Oh no, thought Caitlin. I like the way I print. I do not want to start making my letters a different way. I'm afraid my papers will be messy. Mrs. Clark may not like messy papers. Maybe she will think that I'm not a smart girl. Caitlin remembered the way Mrs. Smith had helped her learn to print her letters when she was in 1st grade. There was a large grid on the wall of the class. The grid had lines on it to help the children learn to form the letters. The lines had names like the sky line, the grass line, and the plain line. Mrs. Smith used the lines to help the kids learn to make each letter. She just told the kids to start at the sky line or the plain line and how to move their hands to the right places. Then she told them the steps for all of the letters. It was not hard to learn to print it all. Caitlin was starting to think she would like to return to 1st grade to be back in Mrs. Smith's class. The next day before class, Caitlin asked Mrs. Clark if she had to start cursive. She told her that her printing was great and that she was happy to print for the rest of her life. Mrs. Clark told her that all the kids had to be in cursive. She said it would not be hard at all. Caitlin said okay, but she didn't think it would be any fun. After lunch, Mrs. Clark said that it was time to begin cursive. Caitlin started to sink behind her desk. Then Mrs. Clark hung some paper on the wall. When Caitlin saw the paper, she began to smile. It was the same grid Mrs. Smith had used when she was in the 1st grade. "Stand up, class," said Mrs. Clark. "Make your arms stiff and point to the grass line." Caitlin was very happy. Learning cursive would be a snap this way.